Alright my friends, welcome back to Shed Knives. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Jack Billings and I'm the CEO and founder of Shed Knives. And today we're going into the 2025 Shed Knives Visionary. This is a fantastic drop point blade, amazing bushcraft knife. And if you've seen the Visionary before, you'll notice that this Coyote Tan is a new color here, so at least for the Visionary. So this is a fantastic colorway. We're going to talk specifically about Coyote Tan and why it's really one of my personal favorite functional colors, not just stylish colors, and also what makes a Visionary just such a good knife. So before we get into that though, I always love to show off some knives because this is a knife channel after all. So here's our knife of the day, which is the Visionary. Like I said, 2025 Shed Knives Visionary, but I have a few honorable mentions. I don't really show knives like people have bought and that are headed out, but today I thought I'd show these off just because they look pretty cool. So today I have the 2025 Shed Knife Sheep's Foot right here in the Day-Glo G10. This knife is sold and headed out today, and so very cool blade there. If you're watching, you know who you are. So this is actually the last sheep's foot I have right now, at least at the recording of this video. And then the next knife is the Tuatara, Coyote Tan Tuatara, headed out. Beautiful blade, both of these. And I think it's great that both of these knives are headed out today, because what a lot of people don't know is that the Tuatara actually was inspired by the sheep's foot. There are so many knives that kind of stemmed off of this one knife. So the Tuatara, just people requested a little bit larger of a handle, so you can kind of see that handle difference there. And then they also requested a little bit different of a blade style, because this is really nice and this is a super tough edge here. I mean, just kind of look at how thick that is down there. But a few people requested, hey, we want something that's a little bit thinner towards the tip. So both extremely functional blades, very nice knives. So if you guys are watching, you know who you are, and I appreciate you guys for joining the Shed Knives movement. So I'm gonna move these out of the way, because in yesterday's video I noticed as I was watching it back a few times, I kept kind of looking down and looking off to the side, but what I was looking at, it wasn't a script, it was actually a spreadsheet. I was literally just looking at numbers while I was doing this. So anyways, I don't use scripts word for word for this video. So look, I'm doing it again. I'm looking at my mouse. So anyways, it's time to get into the Visionary. So let's talk about the Visionary. Why did I make this knife? Why the drop point? Why this very just kind of straight spine blade handle? It's all very just kind of like just, yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's all just very straight, where you have knives like the Resilience, and that has essentially no straight edges on it. I think there's only 2 straight lines on the Resilience. So this here is kind of quite the opposite of the Resilience, and it's a great field knife. It's a scaled up version of the Tuatara, and what's cool is that both of these knives are in Coyote Tan. And by the way, this knife came out in 2024. So while I was designing knives and coming up with new stuff, I thought, man, as a bushcraft knife company, I don't sell a drop point. And just about every other fixed blade company that sells specifically bushcraft field knives, that sort of thing, camping knives, they all sell drop point style knives. Now, if you've been with me for quite a long time, way before YouTube, you would have known that I did actually make a drop point for a short time. So that was 2018, 2019. Now, I had to bring it back because I thought, I'm a fixed blade knife company. I make knives for the field, for bushcraft, and what do bushcrafters want? They want good knives, like the drop point. Now, obviously I make great knives no matter the blade shape, but there's just something about the drop point that so many people connect with, and it makes it such a versatile blade in the field. So let's go over some of the uses for a drop point. Well, in my opinion, the most obvious one is going to be batoning. When you have a blade this long right here, this nice flat part, but then it does come up to a slight belly there, where I'll show off this Tuatara. You have a very big belly in proportion compared to this Visionary. So you do get the best of both worlds with this knife here, and so you can do quite a bit of batoning and chopping, and just it's really nice for that. You also have a very good finger groove. I'll show off the thickness here, because a lot of knives, like where's my Cold Steel Spartan, a lot of knives are relatively thin, especially the steel. So my knives are super thin, and if we compare it to the Visionary here, you'll see the Visionary is definitely a lot thicker, and plus these are like plastic scales, so I mean they work, but it could be better. So the G10 is definitely more solid, which we'll talk about here soon. So that was the main focus here, getting a nice functional field knife, and the Visionary does just that. Another use for this, you can do game processing or field dressing for game hunting, that sort of thing. This has a nice sharp point right up there. You can actually see that glistening in the light. So this has a really nice point there. So it is a bit big of a caping knife or a field dressing, field processing knife. So it is a bit big for that. However, when you're in the woods and you only have one knife, this is a pretty good knife to have. So yeah, and you can do big knife stuff with it. You can also do little knife stuff with the big blade as well. So that's amazing. Now, for those of you who aren't super familiar with the Visionary, I'm going to go over now some of the, I would say, fine details of this knife. So steel, we're using 154 cm steel. Scales, we're doing G10. And we have, you can see this little white there. These are ivory G10 liners as well. The ivory G10 liners you can take off. If you like them, you can keep them on. If you don't like them, you can take these off here. So I made it so that way you can customize it however you want. Or you can make your own liners, whatever works best for you. So these are actually separate from the scale. You can basically unscrew them, take them apart, put them back together like a big Lego set. And then we're using Allen head bolts right here. I believe these are 3/32 size Allen head screws here. So you can get a little Allen head toolkit at your local hardware store. And so 3/32 is what I use on these. So nice bolts there. There's 3 on each side. We have the nice big triangular lanyard hole right there. Check that thing out. Why do I have a lanyard hole that big? Well, let me use the D-ring that my keychain was using. So you can put a D-ring on this. You can put bigger ones on. You can use 550 cord. You can use rope, that sort of thing, which is fantastic for if you're on the water or if you're doing a long hike and maybe you're attaching your knife to your backpack. It's very good to attach your knife in a way that if it falls off, because sometimes it happens, maybe you jump over a rock or you fall or whatever, things can come out of pockets and whatever. So the sheath though, I'll tell you, that's locked in. So this is not going anywhere, I'll tell you that. Like, seriously, just shaking the sheath, it's not coming out. So that's something you don't have to worry about. However, if you're putting this in your pocket or your backpack, it is a pretty heavy knife, so there's a possibility it will fall out. So that's why I have this feature here. Also, this stemmed from people who want to bring their knives out onto the water. Imagine this, guys. You're in a canoe, you're using your Visionary, or you're using your Tuatara, or your Sheep's Foot, whatever 2025 model you're using, and guess what? The person in front of you in your canoe, they roll some way because a bee tries to get them, and guess what? They roll you guys right into the water. So if you weren't expecting that, which honestly we probably just don't expect that at all, at least for the moment, having your knife locked into your boat via 550 cord or some sort of line, that will keep your knife from being at the bottom of the lake. And being such a heavy knife, tell you, it's going to be down to the bottom rather fast. Now, something interesting, I actually left a knife blank in some water for quite a few weeks, and I just kind of forgot about it. I put it in there and I forgot about it. Well, guess what, guys? I pulled it out. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. No rusting, no corrosion, nothing. And that just says a lot about the steel. So, and it was actually a visionary blank as well. So, man, guys, it's great steel. It's a great design. Let's talk about the sheath here for a second. And then after the sheath, we're going to get into Coyote Tan. Why specifically that color? So the Kydex sheath here, this is genuine Kydex. This isn't some Thailand, Chinese, wherever made plastic. No, this is made in Pennsylvania. I get big sheets. You can actually see right where my finger is. You can see the black Kydex sheets. I get them in pretty big sizes, and then I cut them down and I do all my sheaths in-house. And the shelf is blocking it, but behind that shelf there, that's where I do all the Kydex. So it's all done in-house. This way I can guarantee quality. I can make sure stuff is done in a timely manner. Speaking of timely manner, knives, if they're in stock, they ship within 24 hours. So really same day shipping, guys. And if you're in the USA, you get free shipping on that. So if you like this knife so far, go ahead, check it out, shedknives.com. I do have a link in the description of this video for you guys to go check out. And I will tell you, inventory, as you saw with these two knives here, inventory does fluctuate on a daily basis. So I get dealer orders, I get customer orders, just all sorts of stuff. So inventory is always changing and updating. So go check it out now whenever you're watching this video. Now, with that said, let's get into Coyote Tan. Why specifically Coyote Tan? Well, I discovered Coyote Tan is such a nice material for the field when I was actually doing this by hand. Now, I do have CNC machines doing the scales now. However, back in 2023, when I was doing them by hand, I had to texture and grind and shape everything on a belt sander with my own hands. And depending on the color, I could tell a difference in the density of the material. So you guys may remember Tiffany Blue. Tiffany Blue was this very light blue, and it's a nice color, it's very bright, but to me it kind of felt like cotton candy. When I was sanding the Tiffany Blue, it came off very, very fast, where when I used Coyote Tan, I literally had to put on a fresh belt every single time because of just how dense it is. And why is that? Because I ordered the same material, G10, just different colors. So why is there such a density difference? Well, from what I can tell, is when they're using different color ingredients, because where I buy this from, they make everything in-house, so they're using raw materials like raw fiberglass and different colors and stuff. So the different colors they're using, when they mix together and they react together, all of that stuff has slightly different densities. So just like gasoline, diesel fuel, and water, they're all liquid, but they all have different densities, and some are very flammable, so like the gasoline. So just because it's G10 doesn't mean it's the same density as everything else. So with that said, I consolidated the colors for 2025 to the most dense colors possible, and Coyote Tan, from my experience, is the most dense G10 color you can get. And nobody, as far as I've seen, has ever said that. They all just say, oh yeah, this color is nice, this color looks good, this color, blah blah blah. No, guys, I'm telling you, this color, literally the density is different. So long term, I see Coyote Tan being a really good winner. If you're going to be doing some very hard use and you may be beating up the scales, I see Coyote Tan as a great winner. Now, like I said, I did consolidate all my colors into 6 of the most dense colors I have tested, so you don't really have to worry about that across the other colors, like, oh, is this soft, is this what is it? So no, don't worry about that. They're all really good. Just personally, I've had a really good experience with Coyote Tan in the field, and that's why today, of the posting of this video, the Coyote Tan Visionary is now available. So if you guys are new to Shed Knives, basically I come out with a new line of knives every year. So this year is a 2025 collection, and through the months, through the weeks, I have been releasing more colors for each model as we go. I have 6 colors for the year, 3 light colors, 3 dark colors, and those colors, are slowly being dropped and released, like I said, with each knife. So the Visionary, there's currently 3 colors live, so stay tuned on more colors to come, up to 6. So that brings me to the end of the video, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you have any questions, maybe something I missed, go ahead, leave a comment. I try and get to as many comments as possible, but as more and more people join the Shed Knives movement, it's getting kind of hard to do. So if you know the answer to a question, hey, don't be afraid to reply back. I love the community. We're all here to help each other succeed, to win, and to improve, which is just fantastic, guys. And if you go to shedknives.com, click in the link in the description to the Shed Knives Visionary, you will be brought to the Visionary, of course, but then also all the information on this knife. So guys, go check it out. If you like videos like this, if you want me to keep the lights on, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and if you feel compelled, go ahead and pick up one of these knives if they're available. So again, thank you guys. My name is Jack. I make knives, and I'll see you guys in the next one.